I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the big characters that a lot of fans are looking forward to seeing in Star Wars Episode 9 is, of course, Luke Skywalker, the Jedi Master, that will be portrayed by Mark Hamill once more in this story by JJ. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one aspect of Episode 9 that is really a big deal is, of course, the character of Luke Skywalker and exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to utilize and handle the character in this story, in the form of a Force ghost and in the form of flashback sequences in this film that is going to be used to expand the character of Luke, unlike any other Star Wars film before in history. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the Star Wars franchise within Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that Mark Hamill shot a sequence over in Cardington during the month of January, where it said that he was wielding a green ignited lightsaber in front of Adam Driver, dressed in Jedi robes. It's described that Driver was decked out in a white uniform, wielding a blue ignited lightsaber where both Hamill and Driver were dueling in front of a large Jedi temple that appears to be the same, if not a similar one, to what was seen in The Last Jedi. Another sequence that was shot included Hamill in his ceremonial robes, standing in front of multiple Jedi with Ben Solo by his side. It's described to be the moment Luke Skywalker introduces his nephew to the new generation of Jedi. It's said to be a brief flashback scene that builds up the relationship between both Ben and Luke as uncle and nephew, as well as giving fans a first look at Luke's Jedi. It's described that Hamill rehearsed the scene several times before filming during the second week of January. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this and as to why this is very important and very interesting for a lot of Star Wars fans out there. So if you guys actually examine the Last Jedi flashback scene, Luke Skywalker himself, portrayed by Hamill, actually teases the whole entire training session between himself and, of course, Kylo Ren, and even says that during his training he noticed these little sparks of the dark side within him, and that is something that we will see in Star Wars Episode 9, and not only that, Hamill shot that scene in particular in order to really give us our very first look at the new generation of Jedi being introduced to their newest member, that of course being Ben Solo, Luke Skywalker's nephew himself. So what I find so exciting about this sequence that was filmed over at Cardington during the month of January, okay, is that this most certainly is a training session between both Hamill and, of course, Driver as Luke and Ben Solo. So I think that, you know, Luke using the green saber and, of course, Adam Driver as Kylo using the blue lightsaber and Jedi robes is a dead giveaway that this most certainly is indeed a training session. I doubt that this is a fight sequence between the two characters because Kylo is still in his Jedi robes, Luke Skywalker is still, you know, pretty much fine and not injured from the rubble that falls on top of him. This has got to be a training session because it's also described that in the background, a similar Jedi structure is seen, if not the same exact one that we saw within The Last Jedi itself. So I think that's the thing that's really gonna be very special about Star Wars Episode 9 are, of course, you know, these little glimpses of the past that give us a better idea and understanding of the relationship between both Ben Solo and Luke Skywalker and exactly what that looked like in between the events of course, the sequels and the originals. An era of Star Wars that still remains to be very mysterious, right? So, guys, like I say, I think that Mark Hamill returning for Episode 9 really is and was a big deal for him, because this really is going to be the last Skywalker Saga movie, and mind you, this is going to be the last time that we get to see Mark Hamill on the big screen, and I think that's one of the big reasons as to why this movie is going to be a big deal. Not only that, it's also going to be a film in which it will also be listed as Carrie Fisher's last movie to date in history, so that's another thing to keep in mind. So, the other sequence that I do want to go over that I think is brilliant is how we will get our very first look at the new generation of Jedi. Now, these are Jedi that we never really got to see in great detail, other than the dead bodies that looked like they were covered in mud. Of course, in that scene in The Last Jedi where Luke Skywalker witnesses the burning temple, if you look very close on the ground, you can see numerous dead Jedi just laying on the grass. So we're actually going to see them while they are alive, right? While they are alive. And that also ties directly into what we heard about, I would say 2 months ago, give or take, of multiple extras dressed as Jedi with different colored lightsabers ranging from green to blue. So, like I say, guys, I'm very excited about Hamill and his involvement in this movie. I'm very happy about Hamill. He's getting work beyond Star Wars as well. He's playing in Child's Play as Chucky. So Hamill is getting work, you know, outside of Star Wars, and he really is starting to move on away from the Skywalker saga. Now, of course, I think a big fair question that's being asked right now is, of course, is this going to be enough to really fix the character of Luke Skywalker, or a lot of fans also, you know, believe that Luke Skywalker doesn't need fixing. Again, like I say, everybody has their opinion, but I think that the flashbacks will definitely offer a great detailed past for the character of Luke in this movie by JJ. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.